admirable. He's admirable and an
admiral.
Admiral?
Admiral.
It just doesn't seem like a word. Admiral. Admiral. Okay, sorry. Hold on.
Buffalo Plus, your interactive look at the week in football, brought to you by Connors and Ferris.
All right, welcome back to the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel presented by Connors and Ferris. Dan Fates, I am Jenna Cottrell. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy our content. We're here in the Bills Fieldhouse. Dan, we are talking football this week. Bills football.
Not hot sauces.
Not other stuff.
Not articles.
Not
arrest warrants. We are talking football.
We are talking football. Bills, Cowboys. Cowboys red hot, 10-3 on the season. They're won the last 5 in a row. They're coming to Orchard Park on Sunday.
3-3 on the road.
All 3 losses that they've had this season have been on the road. Still, they're averaging 40.2 points in the last 5 games. So this is a very high-powered offense. I think this team, I know that they're playing very good football right now. I think the what's the word I want to say? The energy and vibe around the team was very much that of a head down, got to go to work, but we can do this.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of an optimistic feel around here.
Yeah.
While Josh Allen wouldn't say that they were not focused on any other teams or anything like that or what going on in the standings, Sean McDermott was like, the fact that the Dolphins lost, like that did kind of give us a little bit of a boost.
A little wind in the sail.
Yeah, and again, talking about something is one thing, but then when all of a sudden you start to see things come to fruition and really start to happen, you're going, all right, we can really do this.
Yeah.
And getting that win in Kansas City, I think, adds more wind in their sails to go out and make this run.
That's what I said, yeah. It's perfect.
I just zone out.
Did you actually not know that I said wind in the sail? Come on. This is exactly what I'm talking about. That's unbelievable. Okay. I digress. I asked Mitch Morris this week about that. Like, you've coming off an emotional win, obviously what you need to do ahead. How do you keep that momentum going? And he talked about how there's things that you can take away from a win like that. And it's just the little things. Even Sean McDermott talked about it when we asked him. The focus is not on the Cowboys, even though they're a phenomenal team. It has to be inward on what this team needs to do better, the little things that they need to clean up, the fundamentals as well, tackling all those sorts of things. So I feel like for this team, you kind of see the pep in their step, considering the fact that everything that they want is still ahead of them. But we know it's also going to be a challenge. Like, how many pick sixes does that guy have?
6.
It's insane. So Josh talked this week, and I feel like we've seen him play with a lot more emotion.
Yeah. Where, his heart on his sleeve. We saw the touchdown. It was a few weeks ago. It was the John Wick comment against the Jets where he said, I think I'm back. And then last week, after his touchdown run, which the entire offensive line pushed him into the end zone, we talked about all of that with all of them. Maybe I'll put some of that sound in here because it's really funny, just the fact of what it was like to be a part of that. And Josh was like, I just all of a sudden started going. We talked to Connor McGovern. He's like, I get hit in the back, and it's Josh. He's like, so I get behind him and start pushing. Did you get any credit for Josh Allen's rushing touchdown? Did you get an assist?
Were you in there? I was in there. I felt like I was pushing for 50 yards behind it. Coach McDermott gave the whole offensive line shout out in the meeting, so that was nice.
Can you take us through that play? Just like, could you see anything on it?
So basically, when I got up to the second level, I started hitting the linebacker, and all of a sudden I got hit by someone else. I turn around and I see Josh is behind me, so I quickly got behind him, and I think just about half our offense got behind me then, and we just kept pushing, and next thing you know, we're 3 yards in the end zone.
When something like that happens, is there like yelling, or you get like, what is happening inside?
There's a lot of grunting, You don't know what's actually being said because everyone's so tired, and then once we got in the end zone, you just hear a big sigh of relief, and then you just hear a lot of heavy breathing afterwards.
It's just the fact. What?
I like what Connor McGovern said. Like, what's it like being in that? He's like, I don't know, a lot of grunting.
A lot of grunting.
It's funny.
A lot of grunting. I think you're just starting to see Josh be Josh.
Yes.
And again, this isn't a little positive anymore, and we've talked about some of this. It also goes back to Joe Brady, and it's starting to see this confidence. I saw Josh in the TV broadcast, because you were in Kansas City, on the headset more. Mm-hmm. Like, he's communicating with Joe Brady more. There was none of that with Ken Dorsey. And there was, Joe Brady was supposed to be that middleman. That's kind of what the QB coach's job is. But to see Josh put on the headset, because I was the one that said, I want Joe Brady in the sidelines. Like, don't change anything. Like, I want that constant communication, which they seem to have. I like the fact that he is on the headset with Joe Brady and all of these things. Remember when Ken Dorsey was fired as a scapegoat?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. I think it's around too long. Yeah. We're starting to see Josh run more. The first 10 weeks of the season, Josh's rushing attempts, 4.8 rushing attempts per game. The last 3 weeks under Joe Brady, 8 rushing attempts per game.
You know, my philosophy hasn't changed on it. Joe has embraced it, and I think we're aligned on that as well philosophically. And I think Josh has done a pretty good job with it in terms of playing the position, and yet, you know, Joe's put him in positions too to use his legs in some design runs, and I think that's worked well. No, he's well aware. Josh is a competitor, and we all, this time of year, you do what you got to do, and you know, that's it's just kind of one of those things that's understood this time of year, that game's on the line. You know, you got to do what you got to do. So I don't think I need to say that. He knows that. We all know Josh, and I know this football team. So that's really where it gets to this time of year.
It's a difference.
It is a difference.
Defenses have to do that. Have to account for that again. It's what makes Josh so dynamic. Not only can he throw it, but he can beat you with his legs. And Sean McDermott talked about, you're getting to this time of the year.
Yeah.
You got to do whatever it takes.
Yes.
Josh said it's a playoff game before Kansas City. It's another playoff game against Dallas this week. And you're starting to empty all the tank. You're trying to empty the tank. Whatever you got, you are throwing at defenses because there's a lot of film out on you.
Yeah.
And maybe the fact that Joe Brady takes over late in the season, teams are still trying to catch up to what he does.
I think there's definitely the possibility of that. I think you might see, too, that trust between him and Brady and what that has done for Josh. I think they've allowed Josh to be himself, and that is really what has been kind of the difference in this game. You talk about low positive being out of the picture. Seeing that emotion from him, as Mitch Morris said, he plays with his heart on his sleeve. we know that's Josh. Oh, well, that's what Mitch Morris said.
Yeah.
Okay.
You weren't listening.
Well, you just talk a lot.
Yeah, I do. But Josh, after that touchdown, NFL Films caught him saying, I'm too big. Like, he comes to the sidelines and he's joking around going, I'm too big, and after he scores a touchdown. Like, you're starting to see that big kid again.
Yeah.
I feel like for the longest time, and I get it, Sean McDermott wants his quarterback. I understand. Wanting the face of your franchise to be responsible is kind of what he said. Is being calculated, knowing when to run, and then when you're running, know how to run, know how to get out of bounds and not take hits. All of that stuff makes sense.
Yeah.
But to some respects, you're at this point in the season fighting for your life to make the playoffs. Screw it.
I think you've seen that, though. I think you've seen that pendulum kind of swing back of like, all right, we got to win, and we got to let Josh be Josh.
I just wish there was a little bit more of this desperateness earlier in the season.
I completely agree. I also think that you can't be desperate until you are desperate. And maybe that's to say it's on the players and not playing with enough urgency earlier on. But this team, as we know, has their back up against the wall. And the way things are looking right now, there really is an opportunity for them. They see it. That Miami loss is huge also. So I think things are clearing up a bit more. But they have to take care of business on Sunday. And it's going to be no small task. And I know right now, so we're recording this on Thursday, a lot of money is on the Bills.
Yes. Right now there's about 54% or 64% of the bets out of the 11,000 bets that are being tracked right now are on the Bills, but 94% of the money. That's always the big thing you look at.
Yeah.
What the public money does is one thing. The sharp money, the big bets, the $200,000 bets, the $20,000 bets.
I can't even imagine that.
Those are all on the Bills. They went from a 1.5 point favorite to a 2.5 point favorite. Like that money doesn't, those lines don't move for nothing.
Yeah.
That's big money that is swinging those bets.
Interesting.
Again, yeah, we're also doing that. The big thing that the Bills are going to have to handle, they've handled tough defensive lines pretty well, I would say. I thought they did really good against the Commanders. That was a really good defensive line. I thought they held up pretty well against Miami. I thought they held up okay against the Eagles. This will be the toughest task. And I know I've said that it seems like every time. It was like, first you got to face Max Crosby. Then it's the Dolphins.
Well, I think it's been a progression.
It's been a progression. This is going to be the best defensive line that they have faced with Micah Parsons, with Lawrence, and some of these guys. And look, Micah Parsons is a freak, and a lot of guys know that firsthand. Connor McGovern played with him at Penn State, played with him with the Cowboys. Joe Brady also worked with him a little bit when he was at Penn State. And the fact that Joe Brady was talking about earlier this week that he came in as the highest recruited defensive end in high school to Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I just want to play wide receiver his first camp, and he was the best wide receiver on the team. Like, that is the level of freak that Micah Parsons is. And he lines up wherever he wants. He's got 12.5 sacks. He's a monster.
He really is. And
he's a game wrecker.
Yeah, he is.
Single-handedly.
And I mean, Connor McGovern talked about how he's been trying to instill some of the things to his teammates now with the Bills.
Interesting.
Stuff, but he's like, he's also Micah Parsons. He can wreck a game plan. So you can only prepare so much. But that's really the first time I think that I've talked to Connor McGovern. And I thought his perspective was pretty interesting, talking about, he was very smiley. He talked also, too, about the resiliency of this team. And he said that's one thing, him being new to Buffalo this season, it's kind of caught him, not by surprise, but even he's been impressed by how the team has kind of battled through the ups and downs of the season, and how, kind of like the theme we've talked about, they have everything ahead of them. But he did joke about Micah Parsons and just the football freak that he is.
Boxing off the field. He was a wrestler in high school. Sean McDermott loves that about him. Just the fact, he said, this is going to be a tough test. That's just on the defensive side. They also have Stephon Gilmore. You obviously know all about Stephon Gilmore. He's playing at a very high level. Josh Allen says he's running routes for wide receivers. And again, this Cowboys defense, pretty good, especially in the secondary with their takeaways.
Dak is playing
with their secondary and taking the ball away and forcing turnovers.
Yeah.
They're also missing their number one corner in Stephon Diggs' brother.
Yeah, that's true. Trayvon Diggs.
Think about where that would be. And again, this used to be a team where Dak is ass. That was the big joke, right? It was
LaShawn
McCoy saying, Dak is ass and all these things. He's really good. He's probably the MVP. He's the favorite to win the MVP right now. If the season ended today, it would be Dak. And he's playing at an incredibly high level. Touchdown rate to interception rate through the roof. He's not turning the ball over. Full command of the offense. That was another thing McGovern said. He's a leader. That's never been questioned.
I was going to say, I think that I feel like a lot of fans are like, it's the Cowboys, they're fool's gold, all this stuff. But I think this season they have shown that they are a very, very capable team. And Dak Prescott has been playing smart, dependable type of football. And he's getting the ball to his playmakers, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup. They are players out there. And it's going to be a tough test for this Bills team.
Massive. Tony Pollard, great running back. You have great tight end in Ferguson. You have CeeDee Lamb, who's a true number one wide receiver, a top 5 wide receiver now in this league. You have all the pieces. They used to be the butt of a joke around the NFL. I'll talk from Mike Catalana for you, who's an Eagles fan, who hates the Cowboys, and talking about how bad Dak Prescott is, and Mike McCarthy's an idiot, and they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
All of those things they put together. They used all of the negative energy and all the negative stuff that people said about them for the last few years, that the Bills used to use too as motivation. Now the Cowboys are the darlings of the NFL because everybody's going, wow, they're really good. They've won 5 in a row. Huge test, though. Like I said, 3-3 on the road here.
I still think the Bills win.
Oh, I think the Bills win, too.
Yeah. But
I wish it was colder. I wish there was worse.
You sound like Mike McDaniel. Sorry, that was perfect. Yeah, I think still, even if it's not going to be super cold, but it's going to be cold for Dallas.
It's going to be cold.
And it's not going to be in a dome, and there's going to be the crowd that they have to worry about. And again, those 3 losses that they had this season were all on the road, so that's something to note. A couple of things in terms of the injuries. Sean McDermott was asked about Micah Hyde as well as A.J. Epinesa and the possibility of them landing on IR.
Still week to week.
He said they are week to week, and they're working through the information on that. Something else to note, the Bills opened up the 21-day practice window for wide receiver, the rookie, Justin Shorter. We'll see what that means. I mean, the Bills' wide receiving core has left some to be desired.
Yeah.
So
Team
we'll
held
see.
a walkthrough today. Dalton Kincaid did participate, was going to be a full participant. That shoulder injury just doesn't – it's just something they're all kind of – he's going to have to battle through the rest of the year. It doesn't seem like it's going to hold him out or anything.
Yeah. Did they say anything about Taryn? Was it ankle?
Ankle not participating today, but McDermott said day to day.
He's going to be huge for this
especially
weekend.
no Micah.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate it. Take a second. Subscribe.
Yeah.
And if you've already subscribed, we appreciate it.
Yeah. Truly, though, we do.
I know people are like, I've already subscribed.
I wanted to mention the amazing fans that were at the game before the Bills-Chiefs on Sunday. We met Bob and Stacy. They're originally from Grand Island, now live in Nebraska. Bob gave us this really cool military coin. He's an admirable. He's admirable and an
admiral.
Admiral?
Admiral.
It just doesn't seem like a word. Admiral. Admiral. Okay, sorry. Hold on. He's an admiral. Am I saying it right?
That's what I said.
I know. Am I saying that's what it's admiral? It just doesn't seem like a word. Okay, whatever. Bob, Stacy, we love the support. Thank you guys so much. It is awesome. It means a lot. Bob, thank you for your service. Even though I can't say the position that you are in the military, we do appreciate it. Admiral. Okay.
Not high.
And admirable. Not high.
Not high.
Not high. I promise. It's just how my brain works. Okay. For Dan,
It's fun to talk football.
It was fun to talk football. We appreciate you all listening and me being unable to speak. Thank you for joining us. We'll catch you next time here on Buffalo Plus, presented by Connors and Ferris. Oh my goodness.
Buffalo Plus, your interactive look at the week in football, brought to you by Connors and Ferris.